excellence in diversity, equity, and inclusion for the Culture Club.
KUAM News Hotspot is presented by Calvo Enterprises, Inc.
Hafide, everybody. Welcome back to the Hotspot. We're KUAM. We're coming to you live from Harmon, and we have an action-packed show. Of course, all week we have been telling you about our friends from Coast 360 giving us amazing and useful financial tips. They're answering more of your questions, and today we are tackling the somewhat interesting topic. It can be a little bit confusing, but our friends from Coast 360 are going to talk about managing credit card debt. Also, because it is Wednesday, we're bringing you the latest episode of our Nihijan KUAM series. And of course, we go downtown to the Boca Box where Jess Rosario is standing by, and he's got a fitness challenge for you. And we, of course, are bringing you news bites as we always do. But as we have been telling you all week, April is Financial Literacy Awareness Month, and we have here once again Derek Bollinger and Rowena De La Rosa. They are from Coast 360 Federal Credit Union. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
So now we are absolutely, like tenured experts when it comes to, talking about this stuff. Hopefully you're very, very comfortable here with it. Basically the chairs have been named after the both of you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And come for the laughs, stay for the financial advice, because that is what the both of you have been providing in abundance here. So today we are talking about getting out of credit card debt, or at least understanding it. Derek, let's start with you. How important is managing and establishing a budget?
It's very important. One of the things that a budget helps you do is identify where your money goes. I think a lot of people, they see their paycheck come in, and before you know it, it's gone. I think budgeting.
Those pesky bills.
Yeah, and I think budgeting helps identify where your money goes exactly. And I think a lot of people who go through the budget process, they start identifying areas where they didn't even know they spend that much on. And I think that's helpful when you're trying to save or pay off a credit card bill. So identifying areas where more money goes to than you even realized.
Okay, now Rowena, is budgeting like the dark art that many people make it out to be? Because you can go to school for like a very, very long time to get a degree in budgeting, and there are some people like in government right now who have been, mastering the art of budgeting for a really, really long time. So how difficult does this have to be, like at the home level?
It doesn't have to be difficult at all. It's
simple math.
Yeah, simple math. Look at your finances. Look at all your expenses, your utilities, your groceries, your subscriptions, right? And make note of that. That will total up to your monthly expenses. And then also keep in mind your gross monthly income, right? Can you afford to pay all of this and have extra set aside to, pay your bills or have the luxuries in life, do leisures? You have to be realistic also with your expenses. And I was just listening into what Derek was mentioning. You have to prioritize your needs over your wants. So for example, if you're the type to go out and buy coffee, that's like $3 to $5 a cup, right? If you do the math and you buy coffee daily in given like a 28-day period, you're spending $140 a month. That could actually be applied to your debt, your credit card debt, your loan debt, right? In a given year, that's over $1,000.
And those are the kinds of calculations that people really need to at least take into consideration, because, like you said, stuff adds up.
The small things add up.
Okay. All right. So you were talking about understanding how you pay your bills and everything like that. Do we always, Derek, have to make the bare minimum payment, like over time and everything? Or, if we can afford to do so, is it actually advantageous to kind of like, kick in a little bit more?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, you want to make at least the minimum payment, right? I think that, if we establish that first, you want to make your minimum payment. We've been talking about credit in the previous sessions, and to protect your credit, you want to make at least the minimum. But if you have the means, you want to make extra payment, especially when it comes to credit card debt. There's a minimum payment that you're required to make, but on credit card statements, if you look at your statement, it'll tell you if you make the minimum payment, it'll take you 20 years to pay off your balance.
And pay that much interest and interest.
And for lenders like you, there is no like penalty or anything like that for early payoff, right?
Yeah, there's no penalty, and on a credit card, those balances go up and down. So there generally isn't a penalty if you're paying off your credit card balance early, because there's no timeline for that.
Okay, we just brought up that wonderful graphic. Daniel, if you would you mind bringing that up again? Because I want to go back to Rowena for this next one, because you were talking about prioritization, and their bullet point numero tres is prioritize high interest credit cards. Can you elaborate on that point?
So there's different types of interest rates, right? Credit cards can range from as low as 10% to 24, 27%. The higher the interest rate, the more you have to pay back in interest. Your minimum monthly could be higher as well. So if you prioritize paying that down sooner, then at least your monthly payments in the end would be lesser. But in contrast, there's also a snowball method. Have you heard of that? So it's starting with, and this is now the opposite side of the spectrum, it's starting with your smaller balances and you're paying that off. So for example, you have 2 credit cards. They're both $50 a month. You pay off the lower balances of the 2, and then once you've paid that off, you applied that $50 that you were paying initially for that onto your next credit card, so that becomes $100 a month. So you're unintentionally paying it down faster, twice as fast, but you're not adding on to your monthly expenses. You understand?
Okay, so and we've talked about business theory throughout this whole week. We've talked about sports analogies again. The thing that's common to all of this, as well as understanding your credit card debt, is there is a strategy to this, right?
Yes.
So you have to have like a frame of mind, and Derek, if you would, a game plan when it comes to like taking care of this stuff.
Yeah, and I think it all comes back to managing your credit card, managing your balance. One piece of advice is definitely to know how much you're putting on your credit card every month versus how much you're paying. I think a lot of people, because of how easy it is to use a credit card, they end up putting a lot on a credit card, and then, like you said, pay a minimum payment. So you may put on $200 every month on your credit card, but pay $20. And just the simple math will tell you that your balance is only going to grow.
Okay.
So if you can manage that, keep in mind how much you're putting on the card versus how much you're paying. That will help you to hopefully shrink your balance instead of grow it. Right
on. Okay, well, speaking of tactics, that 4th point, consider a balance transfer. Is this something where, like an automated system, if I set it up like, on your website with your app, that it automatically deducts on a set schedule? Is that what
No, you would actually have to apply for it. It's basically taking your higher interest credit card and applying your balance to a lower interest credit card, which you would have to apply for.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you currently are paying 24% APR, for example, you can find a credit card with a lower interest rate, transfer your balances there. It could lower your monthly payment, lower the total interest you're repaying back.
Is this a fairly new idea? I mean, this was not taught to me when I was, when I was like a little pup, and my parents were teaching me this is how you balance a checkbook. This is how you make sure that your expenses do not exceed your income.
Right.
And everything. But I never heard about this. I mean, is this is a revelation to me, and I'm old.
Yeah, well, it's a feature of most credit cards now, where you can transfer the balance from your other credit cards, to a different credit card. And it's been around for a while. One thing to keep in mind with balance transfers, though, is most credit card companies, they will charge a fee for that. So you may be getting, you want to make sure it's worth it. So you may be getting a lower interest rate that'll be applied to that balance, but there could be a fee that the credit card company charges to bring that balance over to that low interest card.
Okay, and that brings us to point number 5, which is kind of what you were talking about. There may be fees associated. You want to avoid taking on new debt.
Right. It only makes sense, right? If you're trying to pay down your credit cards and loans, it wouldn't make sense accruing more in balances. So if that's your goal, you're trying to lower your monthly payment, lower your balance, maintain that repayment, and try not to get new loans in addition to, because then it's just kind of like defeating the whole purpose.
And this is information that I know is applicable towards younger people, new lenders, people that have let's say like a veteran of the lending process and everything like that. Like this is information you can use throughout the term of your loan or your relationship with a lending institution like yourselves.
Yes.
Okay, we'll tell you what, we have some community questions because we have been inviting you to ask your inquiries, both to Derek and Rowena and their colleagues at Coast 360, and we will get to your community questions right after this.
I'm coming back on top, and I'm living swing. I turn the voltage up, raise the hair on your neck, 'cause I was shining from the start. We're powered up. Shop it, baby, all night. We're powered up.
The One Micronesia Show. Sundays on the stations and digital platforms of KUAM Communications. Join me, Victoria Spahn, for one-on-one interviews with Micronesians in our region and around the world doing amazing things and representing our community. Plus, I'll be sharing different looks at our diverse cultures, languages, food, and much more. And as a special treat and a way to end the show, we're hooking you up with a musical performance every month with a one mic jam sesh, sharing music from all over the Micronesian region. It's sharing our common world because we are one Micronesia.
Want a real taste of New York? The classic New York pizza offers a big, bold taste that's a KUAM favorite. It's handmade with 16 inches of foldable crust, a sweet marinara sauce, and your favorite topping. And at 30% larger than our large, classic New York pizza is only $10.99 for carryout. Bring together your family and friends for a classic New York pizza party. Each pizza is just $10.99 for carryout. Classic New York pizza. So close, you can taste it. Only at your Island Pizza Hut.
Fiscal Fitness is made possible by our fitness partner, Coast 360 Federal Credit Union. Together we thrive.
We're back with our learned experts from Coast 360 Federal Credit Union, Derek and Rowena here, and now we are asking community questions. Now, I just want to slide one more in for myself if I can, because we were talking in the last segment about understanding budgeting and knowing that like you said, Rowena, I mean it is basic like arithmetic, and just knowing that you can't spend more that you have. But let's talk about the concept of what exactly is responsible spending and living within my means, but not being so much of a self-disciplinarian and everything like that I'm actually hurting myself.
Going back to wants versus needs, right? So obviously you need food, you need your utilities. Identify what those expenses are, and then determine if you have any extra funds for shopping or paying your subscription. So look at your overall finances and see what's coming out of your card, what's coming out of your accounts. Things such as subscriptions like Netflix, Hulu, all of that stuff, those aren't necessarily needs. Those are more of just luxuries for entertainment. Those are things you can consider downgrading if you're on like premium, or you can cancel, because that can help you cut back on your overall expenses. Obviously, you can't determine what your utility bills are going to be like, right? So those are things. Well,
you also want to be responsible with that too.
That's true, that's true. So speaking of, you can make some sacrifices, right? Like not turning on the AC, sleeping next to the window, making some sacrifices so you can live within your means and have the funds that you need to pay your bills. And
very good advice. All right. Okay, so that was my question. Thank you for that. Just thought I'd get one more in. So we now have some community questions that were sent to us by the magic of moving pictures. So here are your video questions.
How important is it to pay by due dates?
Okay, Derek, you want to take that one, because we were talking before about do you have to make the minimum payments? You were saying very effectively before you do not, but actually paying by the due date, I think that would be kind of key.
Yeah, I think it's important to pay by the due date. We've been talking all this week about credit and maintaining your credit. How you pay your loans is a big part of what your credit score is. How you make payments, are you late, are you on time? And I think beyond that, it just helps to build good habits. If you set a date for yourself, or the credit union or bank sets the date for you, you stick to that date. And the more I think that you do it, it builds a habit for you. If you're used to paying this bill, if it's due on the 25th and you get in the habit of always paying it by the 25th, it builds that habit, and then you don't have to worry so much about, did I miss it, did I forget it? So I think structuring it so you know when your due dates are, and then sticking to it helps build good habits that will help you build your credit.
Yeah, if you do it once, it's weird because you've never done it before. You do it twice, then you're a little bit familiar with it. 3 times is a behavior pattern, and hopefully, as you said, a habit.
Yeah.
Right.
There you go.
And then there's also the late fees.
Yeah.
So if you
that's where the penalty comes in, like we talked about. Yeah.
Right. So certain financial institutions, if you pay late, you pay the additional fee, plus your interest rate can go up. So there are some consequences in paying late.
This kind of thing can come back to bite you in the dog, and we don't want to have you go through that, because that's why we're doing this this week-long segment, to make sure that you make smart financial decisions. All right, another video question talking from our community members.
Hi, my name is Faith. What is debt consolidation, and where do I start?
Very good question by Faith. Debt consolidation, like after the segment yesterday, we had our friends from Remax Diamond Realty and Mike Rudolph from Norcom, and he was actually talking about, the obligations that you get into and the schedule. You can actually manage that going forward, and you can make decisions somewhere down the road, if you need to, realign your structure.
Right. So for debt consolidation, again, look at your finances, right? What are your debts? Your credit cards, your loans, auto loans. Add them all up. How much are your total balances? How much are your total minimum monthly payments? You can actually apply for one single loan to pay off all of these all together, so you have one lower monthly payment, supposedly, and possibly a lower interest rate. So debt consolidation is basically, and if it's in your favor, helps lower your monthly expenses.
Okay.
And one payment, right? So
Yeah.
you're taking several loans, several accounts, and you're putting them into one bill. So we were talking about due dates, right? It's easier to remember one due date versus 5 or 10.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, you kids, think about it, like how many passwords do you have to remember for Facebook, for Snapchat, for Instagram, for, everything, for Netflix, all in the world. One payment you got to make. You take care of everything in one shot.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. This is interesting too, because my parents raised me to be, we pay all of our bills on time, even if we had 8 different payments. You pay in full, you pay by the due date and everything. I actually did debt consolidation for the first time like 6 years ago. Best decision I ever made, because it's not only saves me money, but it also is very, very simple, as you said. Okay, so to recap, here is what the experts at Coast 360 have taught you today. Create a budget. Simple math. You don't have to be like, a calculus expert to do this. Simple arithmetic, right? Pay more than the minimum payment. If you can, put a few more bucks into there. You reduce your overall payment. Prioritize high interest credit cards, of course. Rowena was saying that very, very effectively. So make sure that you understand which ones are generating more interest and put your focus on those. Conversely, consider a balanced transfer if you want to take care of that. I'm still looking into that, because I think this could really benefit me as well. Again, because I'm on the dinosaur side. And you want to avoid new debt. If you can, try not to take on additional obligations. Guys, we got about 30 seconds now. Final thoughts about everything that we've kind of summed up today. This was really informational. This was really fun.
It is.
Yeah.
This is very important information. It's not, like you said, it's not things we learn in school or is taught in school. It was something I wish I was informed of growing up and taking on debt when I was a young 18-year-old applying for my first credit card.
Hopefully the new generation won't have to go through what we read. Get off my lawn!
I know, and now there's more information available to them, and we hope that they're listening, and we're happy to be here. We're happy to share this information. And we hope it helps others as well. Okay,
Derek, in your opinion, does the new generation, have they got a better handle on personal finance and the decisions they have to make and the research that they have to do?
Well, I think it's different with apps. All the financial institutions have apps, so I think it's become easier and quicker for them to learn because there's so much information available at their fingertips. And it's not just the younger generation, right? Even like you said, dinosaurs like you, that information is available. That information is available for you as well.
Bring that information to Jurassic Park, and we can actually make that work for us too. Yeah, you're never too old to learn.
Yeah. So the information's out there. Find it from reliable sources, but it's there. The apps that you can use for your financial institution, a lot of them will have tips, information, resources that you can use. And I recommend using them. A lot of times we just use those apps, go in, use it for exactly what we need. But a lot of those apps, a lot of those mobile sites, they have a lot of information. I know Coast 360 does. We have a lot of information there.
I mean, or if you just want to talk to really, really nice people that really understand what they're talking about and they really want to help you make the right decisions, call Rowena and Derek and their colleagues over at Coast 360. And what is the number once again for the people? 671-477-8736, or visit our website, coast360fcu.com.
Can I just do another plug?
Sure, absolutely.
So Coast 360 is also a proud sponsor of Bonsai financial literacy programs and resources. You can visit coast360fcu.learnbonsai. That's BANZAI.com. There's a lot of information in there, including an interactive coach.
Outstanding. I'm going to check that out after this.
Please,
okay, please. So for all velociraptors like me, right? Stay tuned, because we have Boca Box and Needs and KUAM coming up right after the break. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. I'm coming back on top, and I'm flipping the switch. I turn the voltage up, raise the hair on your neck, 'cause I was dying from the start. We're powered up.
One Micronesia Show, Sundays on the stations and digital platforms of KUAM Communications. Join me, Victorious Fawn, for one-on-one interviews with Micronesians in our region and around the world doing amazing things and representing our community. Plus, I'll be sharing different looks at our diverse cultures, languages, food, and much more. And as a special treat and a way to end the show, we're hooking you up with a musical performance every month with a One Mic Jam Sesh, sharing music from all over the Micronesian region. It's sharing our common world because we are One Micronesia.
Want a real taste of New York? The classic New York pizza offers a big, bold taste that's a Guam favorite. It's handmade with 16 inches of foldable crust, a sweet marinara sauce, and your favorite topping. And at 30% larger than our large, classic New York pizza is only $10.99 for carryout. Bring together your family and friends for a classic New York pizza party. Each pizza is just $10.99 for carryout. Classic New York pizza. So close, you can taste it. Only at your island Pizza Hut.
All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. Our buddy Jess Rosario is the proprietor of Boca Box. He is downtown, and as I understand it, he has a challenge for us as far as what we are putting into our bodies and how it can affect us living a healthy island life. There is Jess standing by with a live shot. Let's go to him right now.
Hafaday Guam, welcome back to the Hotspot. I am Jess Rosario. I am the owner and nutrition professional here at the Boca Box. It is a lovely Wednesday, and we are at the end of the Choose Health 21-Day Challenge. It actually ended on Sunday for me. But I wanted to talk about that, talk about the experience that I had with you guys. I am gonna do this again, maybe next month or the month after. I wanna make it bigger than what it originally is. And I wanna get as many people as I can to be involved with it. But for 21 days, I challenged myself to change the way I ate, to change the way I worked out, to change my overall daily activities so that I could figure out how my body would change, how to become healthier, and how to have healthy habits that'll last me a longer period of time. So within this 21-day challenge, there were 5 things I had to do. The first was I had to track all of my calories. So I used an app and I just tracked everything down, and my goal was to get to about 1,500 calories. Now, I want to say like 90% of the time I hit that goal. Sometimes I went a little bit over, sometimes I went a little bit under. The intent was not for me to stay solely on the 1,500, but it was a way for me and people that participated in the challenge, which I want to give a shout out to all those to all the guys and all the girls that did the challenge with me. We all did wonderful on it, but the goal of tracking the calories was just for us to look at our food before we eat it, right? And it helped us to really understand how easy it is for you to go over a caloric limit. It was very easy, especially on Easter. Oh my God, Easter, and then I had rosaries to go to for the past few weeks. It was very, very easy for me to eat over, but because I looked at the food before I ate it and I tracked it down before I ate it, it gave me a sense of, oh, okay, this is what I need to eat every single day to be on track. The second thing that I had to do was work out every day for at least 45 minutes. I changed the way I worked out, and I usually was doing things that were very high intensive, like CrossFit and just straight up running and cardio. But this time around, I took a little bit different approach. I went very, I would say, less impact, and I lifted weights a lot more. Not very, very high, heavy weights, but I did a lot more volume. And I think it helped me to change the way I looked. Physically, I looked better than I did in the first part. I think you're gonna see some pictures of me at the beginning of the 21-day challenge and at the end. Within this challenge, I lost 8 pounds, which was great for me, but more importantly, I was able to drop 6% body fat. That is way harder to do than dropping weight itself, and I'm very, very happy with the results. So I changed the way I worked out. The third thing I did was I slept for at least 6 hours every single day. Now, that to me has to be the #1 thing that made a difference. When you're sleeping, once you get adequate sleep every single day, no matter how stressed you are, no matter how busy you are, if you get sleep and you're able to let your body recover, you feel amazing. And this is something that I'm going to take with me forever, making sure that I get enough sleep every single day. Let me see. So the fourth thing was then, the fourth thing was I had to stop eating out. And I think this played a very big factor in me because I'm busy, you know, I have a family at home and everything, but it forced me to cook every single day, which my kids and my girlfriend loved. I cooked every single day. I had fun with them in the kitchen, and we ate a nice wholesome meal. It wasn't anything too fancy. It was very simple. It usually consisted of maybe brown rice, some sort of protein, and vegetables, and it was very simple. But you know, we had like Indian, we had Thai, we had chamorro, we had all the stuff. We had a fun time in the kitchen, and it was better for us to stay home and eat than to spend money and go out and eat. And we felt better. Even after the challenge, we were like, okay, let's go to a restaurant. And after we ate at the restaurant, we're like, let's just stay home and eat next time. The last thing I did, which I thought was going to be the hardest thing for me, especially because it was around Easter and around family functions, was I had to stop drinking alcohol. Now I'm going to tell you, this was a game changer, and I think I'm going to stick with it. Like I'm not going to drink alcohol the way I used to drink. I used to have like maybe a drink or two a night, you know, to unwind and have a nightcap before, you know, I went to sleep. But I actually feel a lot better that I'm not drinking any alcohol. And for all the people that I went to parties, I had a wedding, I had Easter, and I wasn't drinking, and it may have seemed like I was, like a Debbie Downer, but I wasn't drinking, so, I apologize for that. But I feel way healthier. I feel good, I slept better, I'm eating better. And in 21 days, like I said, I was able to drop 8 pounds and 6% body fat. Imagine if I took this even longer. I'm gonna do this again. I want all of you guys to do it with me. Follow Choose Health on Instagram, follow the Boca Box, follow my personal page. I'm gonna do this again. I want to get all of you guys involved so that you guys can create a healthier lifestyle for yourself. So till the next time, follow us, and if you have any questions, you're always willing to come down to the Boca Box and talk to me. I'll see you guys next week.
All right, thanks so much, Jess. Thank you for sharing that picture too. Progress is the order of the day, and if you follow Jesse's rules to the T, you are going to make some very positive progress for yourself too. All right, good stuff. All right, news bites now real quick. The Marianas Islands International Dance and Art Festival kicks off Friday, and the show is on the 29th at Tidzen. Happens at 1 p.m. with grounds opening at noon. It brings world-class dance companies all the way from South Korea and Bulgaria. Tickets at guamtime.net. Understanding the Taiwan crisis, its impact on Guam and the region is a forum presented by UOG, and that takes place on May 6th, starting at 10 a.m. at the College of Business and Public Administration. Project PROA is a camp that for high school students, preferably upperclassmen entering college this fall semester, and early admission or regular students. Priorities will be given to kids who submit a fall 2023 admissions application. It's a summer bridge program aimed at helping students be college and career ready with a specific emphasis in STEM. All right, stay tuned. Needs and KUAM when we return.
Local Music Mashup. For the first 3 Thursdays of every month, sit back, relax, and vibe out as we showcase Guam's local talent through their video submissions. Tune in for Local Music Mashup on KUAM TV8 at 6:30 p.m. and TV11 at 7:30 p.m. Or catch it on KUAM digital platforms. You're not going to want to miss this.
Local Music Mashup is brought to you by Burger King. You rule.
Here's this week's Nihi Zen KUAM.
Nihi Zen KUAM.
You've played another instrument?
I play the piano a little bit.
Okay, so you already you already know about rhythm and beats and things like that. Yeah, that's pretty helpful. Hafide, I'm Senora Lolling. What's your name?
Gabby.
Gabby. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
All right. Today, I'm going to teach you how to play this Belembao Tudzen. But before you want to... You're going to need a piece of wood, a wire, shells, and a gourd. And to play it, a bamboo stick. Are you right-handed or left-handed?
Right-handed.
You're right-handed. Okay, so what you want to do is hold the stick with your right hand. Turn the instrument that way, yeah. So you want your strong hand to hold the bamboo stick, okay? You put it against your stomach. Very good. What you want to do is you want to just tap right across that middle part. You just got to go back and forth. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. You can go. Wow, very good. You're a fast learner. Here's the tricky part though. When you're tapping the wire, at the same time when you tap, you lift your finger up. So you get different tones again. Yeah, you're already doing intermediate and advanced level. All right, Gabby, good job. So what did you think?
I liked it.
You like playing it a lot? All right. So Gabby, what did you like about it?
I like to try new instruments, and I like that it had different tones.
Yeah.
That you could play it a different way.
Right, yeah. And you know, that's the great thing I like about this instrument too, right? It's all coming from your ear. And then you're just creating your own music.
When did you learn to play the bell and batuzen?
Maybe when I was about 20 years old. I learned how to play this from, at that time, he was the last master bell and batuzen player on the island. So he's Crisostomo, and he was from the village of Inilahan. He showed me how to play it, and you know, how to make it. So I'm gonna play a song, right, or a melody that I learned from Crisostomo, okay? And it's a very
I like it. It's very nice. Sounds very happy.
It sounds happy, yes. You think it's important that we continue playing this instrument, making this instrument? Yeah, why do you think so?
Because it's important to not let our culture die, because if we just don't talk about it, then everyone's going to forget about it. And we can't let people forget about it.
Right, exactly, yeah. And imagine, right, you know, our people, they've had this instrument for hundreds of years, and so they kept it going for us. We want to continue on for the next generations, right, for you young people.
Thank you, Senora Laling, for teaching me how to play the bell and batuzen.
And I'm very happy and very glad to share this with you.
Subscribe below to watch more episodes of Ty Greenie.
Nihi Dan KUAM.
I absolutely love that segment. Tell you what, everybody, we are way out of time, but I'm going to see if I can get my hands on a bell and batuzen. I'm going to play Smoke on the Water, all right? So we'll see you tomorrow. But down, 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 down. It can happen, all right?